The Starebone Bus. The Starebone Bus. It's the 30-day trip on the Starebone Bus.
Frank's head looks cold. Here to see how everybody's doing. Hello. Good evening, Carl. Good evening, Peter. I feel like I haven't talked to you guys in forever. Hi, Judith. Nice to see you here. How's it going, my friend? Yay, Peter. What's going on, everyone? It's good to see all my friends again. Hi, Carl. Nice to see you. I'm doing well, thank you. Things are good. I missed you guys. Hi, Anya. How are you? Anya, I really missed you. Where you been? I'm just gonna adjust this up a bit. I feel like I'm really looking. I don't mind looking down a little bit, but that felt like I was really looking down. Is that better? DJ Copper Bones' head's cut off a bit. He doesn't care. Frank fell down today. I heard a big bang and came in here, and he was face down on the landing. Hey, Soda, what's going on? Good to see you. Hi, Elle. How are you tonight? So, Anya, where you been? Really missed you. Haven't seen you in forever. Oh, Ed. Hey, how are you tonight? Good to see you on the Stairboom bus. Yeah, it was way too much time without you in the Stairboom bus. Hi, Misty. How's it going? Frank should have been wearing his seatbelt. That's the problem. Hey, Sean. Nice to see you. Hi, Jack. That's the problem. When you're on a bus, you don't wear seatbelts, right? And those aren't even seatbelts. That's their safety belts because they're crossing guard. So how's it going, Jackie? How are you feeling today? And how are you, Misty? Good to see you here with us. Hey, Eleftheria, what's going on? Nice to see you here. And Steve, what's going on? Steve, nice to see you. Yeah, welcome back to the 30-day trip on the Starebone bus, everyone. Hey, Jason, nice to see you on the Starebone bus. What's going on? Hi, Belle, good to see you. I haven't talked to you in so long, Belle. I hope things are well with you. Hi, Julie, how are you? Is Anthony here with you as well? And Jackie, is Mike here with you as well? There's always the husbands lurking in the back. I have to make sure I say hi to the husbands that are in the back. In the back of the bus. That's where all the cool kids are, in the back of the bus. Yeah, it's nice to see you here, Julie. Sorry, I'm just taking my time to say hello to everybody because it's been a while since I've said hello. Let me call Bat over. Hey, Bat. Bat. Here she comes. I've said this to you guys before. I live in a big farmhouse, so it takes her a little while to get over here. Hello, girlie. You gonna come up? Yeah, come say hi. I'll move the camera over and everything. Come here, Bat. Come on. I wonder if she's reluctant to come up here because Frank fell down. Yeah, come on up. Come on up. I'll even move a bit for you. Oh, hello. Hello to you. Oh, she just laid right down. Check this out, guys. Hey, Bat Baby. Oh, look at you. Look at you, Bat. Doesn't like when I rotate the phone. What if I did that like this? Hey, baby. Oh my gosh, could we both be on if we did it like this? Yeah, it's me and the Bat, everyone. Hello to you, sweetie. Oh my goodness. Let's get some idea. Hold on. See if I can adjust this a bit. Then it's not in Bat's way at all, right? Yeah, it's kind of weird. That's okay. You can say hi. Everybody says hi to Baby. Oh, she sniffied you all. She sniffied you all, everyone. Yeah, it's always good to say hi to the Bat Baby. Yeah, look at Anya said hi to you. She really is a sweetheart, Anya. Like, gotta tell you guys, this little girl, I've told you that I took in a pregnant mummy and she had 11 babies in my house. Like, almost 5 years ago, Anya, can you believe it? And Elle's on here too that has Sheena. The puppy's birthday is November 14th of 2015. Can't believe it. Our puppies are going to be 5, Al. They're going to be 5. Can't believe it. And if you're on here watching, our puppies are going to be 5. It's so unbelievable to me. But when I first had her, I had to take her out of the litter. And so she was this little singleton puppy that Anya really helped me through it all because she was rough. Like, it was a rough go with that. She attacked Slop. Like, by the time she was 5 months, she was attacking Slop. Like, it was just really brutal. And then I had to separate them for a really long time because it just got so bad. And then after Slop passed away, really, you could tell Bat really missed him. Like, she actually started mourning him, or she was comforting me, one of the two. And then after that, as she started to, get a little older, I would say by the time Bat was like 2.5, she was just getting to be this awesome dog. But now that she's almost 5, she's a lot like Kita now. She's just settling into this kind of chill life, and she's just a sweetheart, and she just loves her life. She has a ton of play in the day. She's a very good baby. If I go to give her her food or TREATs or COOKIESs or anything like that, she sees me go to get them. She lays down flat and waits like this. Like, she's just so good. She's just really good. And outside, because I live on the farm, she's never on a leash. She just, plays openly and comes in when it's time, when we're all done playing. And she's just this awesome dog. But boy, Anya, didn't we go through something crazy with her when she was little? Holy, just rough, but just turned out to be a wonderful dog. So welcome back to the 30-day trip on the Starebone bus. And I missed a couple of those days, and I'll tell you what happened. So Friday, I realized it's just a long week of division for everyone, right? I always say the Great Divide. I've been referring to that thing going on out there as the Great Divide. And so with this whole division week, I just felt like everybody was really exhausted. And when Friday night came, there was supposed to be, some big Friday night announcement and, televised thing that was going to happen at the same time as we normally do this. And then so I had gotten a couple of texts from people saying, I'm going to watch the live thing, so I'm not going to be on Karen, but I'll watch your replay. And I was like, okay, that's fine. And a couple more people were just like, not going to be on. And I was like, okay, that's fine. But then one person particularly said to me, Karen, as Americans, we have been going through an emotional roller coaster, and I noticed that your time on Friday night is hitting around the same time as the live thing's supposed to happen. And I think as Americans right now, we need to either, go through whatever emotions. We basically need to go through whatever emotions we got to go through depending on the side you're on, right? And I said, okay, that's cool. I'll just postpone it one night, right? Yeah, just the fatigue of it, right? And so I said, that's fine. This isn't something I have to do. I just like doing it, right? And I'm totally not political, but I do respect when, things bother people. And I start to kind of go, okay, well, what's more important? Like me doing my feed or me just respecting, the feelings that are happening out there and just the exhaustion that people are feeling right now. So that was fine. So then I postponed it till Saturday night, but then the big thing hit Saturday night. And so I was just like, okay, then I'm just not going to have my feed because it's at the exact same time as my feed is at 8 o'clock. I got thinking after, I guess I could have done it sooner, but I just felt like the vibe that was going on all week, I just felt like people needed to get to the end of whatever it is they needed to get to the end of this week and just have that time to process whatever feelings you were feeling on either side. And we'd start again tonight. So that's kind of what happened over the course of the weekend. But I missed you guys. I missed talking to you all, but I'm happy to be back on again tonight. The division is so unbelievable to me that's going on because I just don't function that way at all. Like I would never put anything that's going on above how I treat or interact with people. And that goes for anything. It's not just politics. Like anything that goes on in life, I don't believe that you should be putting just that one thing, whatever it is, and especially when it's coming from your TV screen or your computer screen, ahead of the feelings and relationships that happen with other people. Like I don't function that way ever. Like to me, there is nothing more important than how I treat another person. There's just nothing is. So it's bizarre to me to see it. I get it. And so I'm just trying to be really sensitive to it. Is guess what I'm trying to say? Like, not worth it to me to try to go, oh, this is my feed time and I don't care what you think and I'm going to be on it. And like, why? Like, that's not important. But the division is pretty extreme. And it's part of why I started doing these feeds was because I was feeling this great divide. And I wanted to give you guys a safe place where you don't have to talk about division, because here is a place where we can talk about, hi, Rebecca, good to see you here. Here's where we can talk about things that actually are helpful, things that heal. I honestly believe the average person could deal with any storm that comes their way if they are more solid as a person, right? So if you're a person who's at peace, and I'm developing this peace, and I'm in development all the time, I got to tell you. But if you're a person who has that general peace about you, that almost monk-like peace about you, then you're unaffected. You're just unaffected. And, I believe that there's things you should fight for, absolutely, but action is action and meanness is meanness. And we have to know the difference between the two. So that's what I'm going to say about that. But again, when I do these feeds, the division that I'm interested in is, what is the divide that's happening within myself that perhaps is causing me to treat another person another way? In other words, we should be working on ourselves. That's where the bulk of our effort should be. Like, they always say, if you want to change the world, you start with yourself, right? And so there's a lot of work that every single one of us needs to do on ourselves. Like, just on a daily basis, we have so much. There's just, if you look around, it's kind of like, why are you telling somebody else that their house is dirty when your house is so filthy? That's just that old saying, right? So I'm not really that interested in, and it's a lot of effort. I got to tell you, it's just a lot of work to just constantly point out the problems of other people when I need so much work, right? I just need so much work on myself. I'm not so smooth yet, but I'm working on it. Oh, I'm totally working on it every day. You know what? We're all a work in progress. I think we got to cut each other some slack and understand that if somebody's mean to you, it isn't necessarily they're just mean. It's because they might be hurting. Like, there might be something really going on. So yeah, it's just hard. We're all a work in progress. And so I just want to give you guys a safe space where you can kind of talk about these things. So welcome back to the 30 days that I've now gotten rid of a couple days. So it feels like only going to be 28 of them, but it's the 30 days, the month of November, on the Stairbone bus. And I hope that you guys like things that are a little on the weird side, because that's how I am over here. So the swarm, let me explain the swarm to you guys. I see some new faces if you're just coming on. So for the 31 days of October, I did something called the 31 Days of King Juggernaut Berlin. I had released my second book at Halloween. If you want to see that video, it's on my feed. Just look for the blue hair. And you can watch the book launch that I did on Halloween. And you guys were so much fun to hang out with. Hey, Billy, good to see you here on the Stairbone bus. I had such a good time doing that. But I always call you guys the swarm, right? Because the swarm is all about spreading wings and restoring minds. And I think that's what we're constantly trying to do here all the time, is just spread our wings as far as just like, open up our minds a bit, just get creative and all that. As far as restoring our minds, I don't think that we necessarily lost them altogether, but they've been pretty hacked. I'll say that. I'll say that much. So I've always called you guys, my swarm, because I just feel like we're constantly doing that. And a swarm of butterflies in our stomach is that thing that feels really good. It is the thing that gets us excited, the creativity, whether we're writing or painting or doing some things that are super fun. Or it's a swarm of moths that sits in our stomach. You want to go, baby? Okay, you go off. Go off. That's good. That's okay. She looks at me like, am I allowed to go? Oh, I can stretch my legs out now. I'm on a little landing at the bottom of my stairs. Oh, thank you so much for posting that link, Jackie. That's awesome. Jackie just posted the link to my store where you can get King Juggernaut Berlin. If you haven't read King Juggernaut New York City, that's the first one that's in there, and I just released number 2. So thank you for putting that link up, Jackie. That's awesome. But my goal is to have more butterflies in my stomach than moths. But what I do when I'm feeling anxious and I have those moths in there is I convert them because I believe that their warlike rampage can be a catalyst to a brand new life. So I hope that you also will find some great inspiration in their intensity. This is what artists and musicians do all day long. Some of your favorite songs were probably written by somebody who had a lot of stomach acid that day when they wrote that song. They were just able to convert it into something. And I feel like sometimes doing is better than thinking, and doing sometimes is better than saying. So I think we got to get back to more doing again, right? So we've been flying through hell, and some of us are still flying through it, but it's imperative that we reunite with that inner child and get back to recapture what was magical again. And the swarm, I believe, is all about restoring passion back into our hearts and compassion back into our minds. And it's going to take a whole swarm to awaken this earth. And I think we got a pretty good start here. What do you think? So fly with us, be free without apology, get inspired, and return to your rightful place in the playground because I believe it's never too late and you're never too old. I gave this example to Elle here. Turn torture into triumph. I love that, Elle. What I was going to say to you about never being too old is I remember I was explaining to you how my mother was diagnosed with cancer when she was 55. My mom played piano all her life. She played beautifully on the piano, but she'd never taken up guitar and she always wanted to. You're laughing at my brain blort? It's a spider in my head that causes me to literally shut off like that. It's just kind of one of the side effects of having this cyst in my brain. But anyway, my mom would start to, or it's just a squirrel. My mom loved to play piano, but she always wanted to play the guitar. So when she was diagnosed with cancer at the age of 55, and it was breast cancer, she went almost to the age of 61 before she died. So she had breast cancer in one breast, had it removed. A couple of years later, it was, or like a year and 10 months or what, I can't remember how long. She had the other one removed, and then it settled into her liver, and that was the end, right? Hey, Janet, good to see you here on the Starebone Bus. So she had all the cancer removed, but then it settled into her liver. But at the age of 55, when she was first diagnosed with breast cancer, she decided she wanted to play guitar. And so she, right from scratch, learned to play guitar. And she learned quickly, and she learned like feverishly. She was just so into it. In fact, the only reason she quit was because towards the end of her life, the chemotherapy took away all her fingerprints, right? They say it goes after fast growing tissue, right? And so, the inside of her mouth would get really sore, but her fingertips, she couldn't knit anymore and stuff because her fingers just got so sore. But for those 5 years, she played guitar beautifully. She loved it. She inspired a lot of people because she picked it up so late in life. So this is why you hear me say, I don't ever want to hear you guys say I'm too old to dream another dream or pick up a guitar or paint or do something. Yet the talent runs in my blood. Actually, it's kind of funny because even though my mom played piano and was musical, my father, it was like an appendage. Like my father and my brother's this way too. All of us played piano or played an instrument growing up. But for some reason, my brother has what my father has, and I have some of it, but not to what I would say to the natural level that my brother has. Where, remember I told you about being a vessel? Like I used Eddie Van Halen as that example about how music just kind of comes through. I have moments, it's not all the time, but I have moments where I'm not sure where that music came from. And I felt like I was just a vessel and it came from this. And it seems like, it just seems kind of ethereal, but it really would just kind of come through me, and I didn't really understand what happened. My father is like that 100% of the time. My brother is like that 100% of the time. It's a very bizarre thing to watch. My brother could sit down at the piano and just play anything. He's very talented that way. So I would say like the music in my family, definitely my mom learned it and my father was just born with it. Like, so some people are, and that's okay because you can learn anything. Like if you put your mind to it. I love too, like YouTube's offering all these awesome videos. If you guys ever want to pick up an instrument, like just go on there and say, learn to play piano. And there's a dude literally who will just offer you piano lessons on YouTube. Like it's just so easy to do now. So to inspire you to do that. So it's never too late. That's my point. It was never too late to get back on the playground again. So the Starebone bus, for those of you who don't understand why I'm doing the Starebone bus, when I was doing the 31 days of King Juggernaut Berlin, I brought up the Starebone bus, and I told you guys I would take a picture of this stair bus that I would play with when I was a kid. And so I thought, well, why don't I do it with all the skeletons? And I started lining up all the skeletons. Hey, Chris, good to see you here on the Starebone bus. So I started lining up all the skeletons, and I was going to just take a picture. And then I'm like, why don't if I can cram my camera at the bottom of the stairs, why don't I just show you guys how I would play when I was a little kid? And so I'd have a baby gate. I would sit like this, and I'd have a baby gate across here. And when it was their stop, I'd open up the baby gate and throw somebody off. I think that's just kind of how the stair bus went. So now I'm calling this the Starebone bus because of the skeleton. And these guys are wearing I think you guys call them safeties down in the US. Up here in Canada, we would call them bus patrols, right? Or crossing guards or whatever. And now they have a whole vest. But back then, the belts looked like that. And the whole point of being a crossing guard or a safety patrol or a bus patrol is you had to keep that center aisle clear. And as you can see, my little dudes, this guy's a little close right here, this little rat. But for the most part, they're keeping that center aisle pretty clear. And I think it's probably because of our good bus patrols here, Frank and DJ Copperbones up there. So that's good. And Sean, how are you doing? How's it going on your second book there? Sean Ford, if you see his name on here, look for him, fellow author who finished his book at like 87,000 words, right, Sean? That was quite a feat. And then as soon as he got done the book, he started writing another one. I was so happy to hear that, Sean. It's just great. So some of us on the playground, and we're trying to transport the rest of you there. Some of you just need a lift. And so I'm glad that you're on the Starebone bus with us. Every day I'd like to talk about what's holding us back from playing, from moving ahead, from experiencing joy, from living in a peaceful environment where the bullies or even our own fears, not even just bullies, are just not holding us back from whatever our true potential is. And that's the kind of stuff that I like to talk about. So yeah, just you can be with friends here, hang out. We won't judge you. And like I told you before, you could click on anybody's name in here and you'd make a friend for life, I'm sure. So today, I want to talk to you about, I was reading an Eleanor Roosevelt quote. I thought you guys might find this kind of timely this week, but it might just apply to your own life as well. So the quote is, "Great minds discuss ideas. Average minds discuss events. And small minds discuss people." I almost wish she would have said that in the reverse order. Small minds discuss people, average minds discuss events, and great minds discuss ideas. So I want to give you an example of just my approach to having conversation with people, just general conversation and my general approach to it. So growing up, my oldest sister and I were very competitive. She was the oldest sister. Just to give you an idea, like when my father died when I was almost 6, she was 12. So that's kind of the difference between, and then I had a sister who was 10 in between, and my brother who was a year and 10 months older than me. So we were always the 2, 4, 6, 8 kind of kids, right? So she was the oldest and I was the youngest. And so we always, just growing up, we just rubbed each other the wrong way, right? It's one of those generally a loving home, but it was just, I don't know, like the table topics were always, and not even just her and me, like my brother and my other sister as well. The table topics would always become kind of one-upping. I don't know if you guys know anything about one-upping, where you just one-up each other. Like, oh, you got a story, I got a bigger story. Or, you know that fact, I know a bigger fact or whatever. And it's just that kind of one-upping or very competitive. Kind of like you've seen the Bugs Bunny cartoon where, it kind of starts off with a gun, a bigger gun, and works its way up to the cannon, like just the competitive, like I'm better, I'm better, I'm bigger, I'm bigger, I'm bigger. And some people refer to it as a pissing match. Like, that, yeah, familiar, the one-upping. And so we'd have these conversations where it was always just, and then we had my brother who would sit over there and he would be contemplating, like he'd always just be contemplating something and we'd go, uh-oh, And we'd even dub it, here comes the, John Stever 6 o'clock question of the day. Like, because he would just always be thinking. And it would be something like, if I had no arms and no legs and I tried to somersault to Toronto, how long do you think it would take me? We'd just be like, where did that come from, right? So we had these really bizarre conversations at the table, but then it would become like the Guinness Book of World Record competitive kind of stuff. All of us are sideliners at that table. None of us have actually ever been in the Guinness Book of World Records. None of us were professional in any kind of sport, but all of a sudden we're sideline professionals, right? The kind, the armchair critics. And so we'd have these kind of heavy dialogues that would happen. And it would always end up with who's right. Who's right. It's just that's how all the conversations would end. And you'd see my mom start to gather up the dishes and go, okay, that's enough. That's enough. Okay, that's enough of that. But it would always be who wanted to be right at the end of that kind of one-upping thing. And if these divided times have taught us anything, it's that the need to be right starts the fight. The need to be right starts the fight. Can somebody put that in the comment section so you can all read that? The need to be right starts the fight. It's one of those things that it makes me crazy being inside any kind of conversation anymore where someone is simply trying to be right. Because I'm just not interested in those conversations, right? Oh, your boy has the most bizarre thoughts ever too. It's a boy thing? Or there's just always one in the family. Like, my family's weird, Al, but there's definitely always one weird guy that you're just like, where'd that thought come from? But to me, when I talk to you about how I engage in conversation, generally speaking, I really feel like if someone's hurting in any kind of way, and usually a one-upper is hurting, they're either lonely, they have low self-esteem, they're trying to prove something, a person who's just constantly trying to one-up or be right. If that person is hurting, it's probably a good idea that you try to get to the root of that and address, thank you, Jeff, for putting that up, that you start to address that hurt. Or it festers and it becomes something else and they become one-uppers and they puff their chest out and they want to be right and they want to be all that kind of that thing. What I've learned about people though in these situations is just I'm a people watcher all the time and I'm constantly observing. I'm like an observer of life. What I've really started to learn is that most people do not want to be right. Even though you think that's what they want, right? You're like, oh my God, he wants to be right all the time. They actually don't because there's never been a prize for it. Like, there's never been a trophy for being right. What I've learned about people is they don't want to be right, they want to be heard, right? That's the difference. They don't want to be right, they want to be heard. But the way to be heard is to prove a point so that you can have the attention, so that you can be heard, so that the words that are coming out of your mouth, it's all about kind of getting that attention, right? And maybe they're super lonely, or maybe their self-esteem is so low that they're constantly trying to prove themselves. But here's a good exercise that I find works in these situations. It's all about a process I call naming the goal. Naming the goal. So the exercise is you just look at where you're standing right now and you look at the conversation you're in. And this conversation could be anything, not just politics. Like it could be just relationship. Who's sitting across the table from you right now, right? And you just name the goal. And what I mean by name the goal is, what is the goal of this conversation? What's our goal? What would be the great goal? Because being right, there's no trophy. There simply is no trophy. So that's a crappy goal. So if you're having any kind of dialogue with a person, especially someone who doesn't think like you, and again, that could be political, but it could be relationship. It could be just some conversation at your kitchen table about anything, about just how to fry your fish or just anything, just any kind of conversation. What is the goal? And you have to name the goal. So is the goal to have peace? Is the goal to heal the conversation? Do you have a common goal that you're working towards? Are you trying to fix something? Like if a couple's in their house and they're trying to change, something on the faucet, or they're trying to change the light, or they're trying to fix something that's in the house, is the common goal that I know more about electricity than you do, and so therefore it becomes a conversation about who's right? Or is the common goal, and I think it's really important we start putting that word common in front of the goal, is the common goal to get to a place of reconciliation, healing? Is the common goal to get to a place where there is peace, that there is healing of some kind? You have to name the goal. Don't even bother entering any conversation unless you can name the goal at the beginning of your conversation. Otherwise, it's a pissing match. It's just going to simply be a pissing match of two people who just want to be heard. And that's point of that. It's just so pointless. It's a lot of the reason why I don't engage in a lot of these kind of superficial conversations. Now, is your goal to disrupt the peace potentially because you don't have any? Isn't that interesting? A lot of people who interrupt peace, just generally, or sometimes known as shit disturbers, are disturbing the peace because they simply don't have any inside of themselves. Or maybe you're sick and you want other people sick because you're just so mad that you're sick, right? So you got to get to the point where you're addressing what the problem is. Generally, the person just wants to be heard. Okay, so let them be heard in a safe place. They can come to you and say what's wrong and all that, whatever it is. Name that goal, figure out what it is in the conversation you're hoping to accomplish by even having a conversation. If you're going to engage in any kind of heavy conversation with somebody, if you can't name the goal at the beginning of that, you're going to both walk away mad. Nothing will have changed. Nothing will have resolved. It's just going to stay exactly the same. Do you remember one of my very favorite Einstein quotes? I think about Einstein a lot when I talk about topics like this. Insanity, he talks about the definition of insanity. Have you guys heard this one? Is doing the same thing over and over, but expecting different results. Doing the same thing over and over, but expecting different results. That is insanity. The wheels on the bus go round and round. The hamster wheel goes round, and nothing ever got resolved, and we didn't get anything done. That perpetual anger isn't working, and that name calling isn't working, and nothing's changed, and you walk away more mad. And you walk away sicker. Like it actually starts to affect you, right? The reason why I brought up, though, the example with my sister specifically is because we had a lot of years growing up where, when you grow up together and then you kind of go off and get married and have children and do your things, and you see each other at occasions, but not that often. That just general adult separation that starts to just naturally happen. So a lot of years went by where I didn't talk to my sister. And as a result, and not in a bad way, it was just like, we loved each other still. But then we started texting, just randomly started texting. And it was weird because texting, you can't always tell what's going on with texting, right? But we started texting and had a few phone conversations, but mostly texting. And the conversation started to feel, at the very beginning, a little bit like it did when we were kids, right? And where it's just, back to that kind of a little bit of, not one-upping, but just a little bit of competitive conversation. Usually about facts. Siblings do this a lot, like, what color was my aunt's room? It was blue. No, it wasn't. It was green. Like, you just start arguing about like childhood facts or something like that. But it started to kind of have a little bit of feel. A fruit fly, I don't know. It started to feel a little bit like that at the very beginning. But what I did when I felt it going that way is I said to her, I actually have no interest. If you and I are having a conversation, I just want you to know that I have no interest in being right. That's not me anymore. Like, that's just not who I am at this point in my life. But what I'm really interested in, and I said to her, I really want to know you. I really want to know you. I want to have a relationship with you. But she was so used to how We spoke for decades before that. But then she was just like really happy that I said that. And she fell in love with being sisters. And so did I. And now we have this awesome relationship where like we talk every single day. We have no competition. We never get into the like who's right and who's not because we just want to have this relationship and we're so genuinely interested in each other now that we just don't want to have that who's right conversation. We just don't want to even bother engaging in it at this point, which is super awesome. And so once we were on the same page where we agreed on what our goal was, like naming that goal, like I want to know you. It's one of the most loving things that we can say to somebody, by the way, is I'm really interested in knowing you. I'm not interested in right versus wrong. I'm interested in you. In you. And the topics are never about, they don't seem to be anymore. They always seem to be back about what Eleanor Roosevelt said about, small and average minds talk about people and events, and great minds talk about ideas. I also think that these great minds talk about relationship, actual talking about relationship. Hi, Jim. Good to see you here. Nice to see you here on the Stairbone bus with that. Trying to do that with my mom. It helps a little. Okay, Al, that's good. Yeah. Like just him, even just saying to her, you know what, Mom, I don't want to talk about what the neighbors are doing. Mom, I don't want to talk about what we saw in the news. I want to talk about you. I want to talk about how you're feeling, right? Like I just getting to the point about how another person is, and you have to guard. It takes a while. It shuts her up. That's funny. It takes a while for a person to get used to you saying those things because none of us are used to it. We're so used to talking about the news or events or specific people that are out there. And then as soon as you decide, I'm not going to talk about people and events, I'm going to talk about ideas and you, I want to talk about you. It's really awkward for a while. And then all of a sudden they're just like, oh my gosh, someone is interested in me and I don't know what to do with all these feelings right now. Like it's kind of a weird thing. Do that sometime though. Try it on somebody you know. Just say, you know what? I'm kind of over the news and gossip type of conversation and I really want to get to know you. Like what makes you tick? What are you interested in? What do you love? Let's wax philosophical. You know what I mean? Like just anything that's not, just constantly talking about events and people. And I think a lot of it has to do with, and it's why people become huge sports fans. It's why people become such big fans of anything really is because it's kind of cool to watch somebody else excelling at a high level where they're having some kind of teamwork, like a sports team. It's kind of fun to watch a sports team because all those people in the field are working together. They're having this, tight relationship with each other. And for some reason, we like that. When we see musicians on a stage, we are witnessing them having a relationship with each other and with their instruments. And we want that. And for some reason, we've gotten really good at being spectators of the lives of people who seem to have an interactive relationship that maybe we don't have. And that's okay if that helps you to inspire. But I hope what it does is it causes you to look at your sister or look at your husband or look at your family members or just friends or whatever and say, I want to get to know you again. I think that's the most awesome thing that could happen. So yeah, as just a scientific experiment, just take any kind of combative dialogue that happens and shut the person down and say, you know what? I'm actually not interested in the Guinness Book of World Records right now. I'm not interested in your name dropping. I'm not interested in the big latest news story that's going on. And just list all the things that you're not interested in. And then at the end of it, say, but I am interested in you as a person. And I want to get to know you. Just try it. Let me know how it goes. Especially somebody you're disagreeing with. It's a really weird feeling because they don't know what to do with themselves. Just say, you know what? My desire to have a relationship, this is something I put up on my page earlier. My desire to have a relationship with you outranks my need to be right. My desire to have that relationship with you totally outranks having a right or wrong conversation with you. We're in survival mode, right? A lot of us are in survival mode when really we should be looking for ways to have peace, to have healing, and have health for all. And when I say health for all, hi, Chuck, nice to see you here. When I say health for all, what I mean by that is mental health and physical health. Like we should want that for everybody. We shouldn't be just like trying to hoard it for ourselves. We should want everyone to be peaceful and happy. And while I'm on that note, that combative dialogue is actually making us ill. It's actually making us sick. When I said the need to be right starts the fight, that need to fight makes us angry, and prolonged anger makes us bitter. And that bitterness is super unhealthy. It actually causes physical things in our body to start breaking down. It's a poison. It's actually a poison. And it sucks your precious playtime. You're all missing out on the original intention for you because, play and humor has become unpopular. That reminds me, Jackie, you said that I want that for everybody. I do too. Jackie, that reminded me when I saw your name here, when you said to me earlier in a DM that you wished that you would have found humor earlier in your life. That whole don't stress the small things. Like, I think we got to start looking at life a little bit lighten up, right? Just lighten up. What are you saying, Anya? Insecurity and feeling defensive is toxic. It's actually toxic. And not only does it affect you, it affects everybody around you. It bleeds. It actually bleeds out and pours onto people around you. Your children, your pets, your spouse, your friends, they all feel your vibe, the color, the aura that's around you. They feel it affects everything around you when you're feeling so down in the dumps all the time. But Jackie, I was glad that you had said that to me about that you wished you would have found humor earlier in life. Here's a quote just for you, Jackie. Stressed, I read this. Stressed is in past tense or present tense, just being stressed. Spelled backwards is desserts. Coincidence? I think not. And when I'm feeling particularly stressed, I've been known to go for a bucket of ice cream. So, stress spelled backwards is desserts. I think that's great. So that Eleanor Roosevelt quote, great minds talk about ideas, average minds talk about events, and small minds talk about people. I think weirdos laugh at all of it. They just laugh at all of it, right? And I know there's a few weirdos on my playground here. But I think weirdos are also great minds because of the fun, of the silliness. If you're artistic, musical, or even a little bit demented. Then you get your just desserts. Oh, nice, Hal. Yes, chocolate. Chocolate is a good stress buster because it actually has that tryptophan in it, which helps with your serotonin, your happy chemical in your brain. So it's actually a physical thing, chocolate. You're not dreaming that at all. Or as the Joker said, why so serious all the time? We've gotten a little too serious. So thank you for bringing that up, Jackie, that we've gotten a little bit too serious. So I do want to talk to you before we log off tonight, and I'm so happy to see you guys again. Missed you. Before we log off tonight, I got to talk to you about, there's an incident that happened on the Starebone bus. I'm glad that you're smiling, Jackie. Yeah, you do need that, don't you? There's an incident that's actually still kind of going on the Starebone bus that I want to bring to your attention. Let me see if I can move my camera so I can show you. So on this particular stair on the Starebone bus, you see those guys? Right there. So what's going on is that we have two skeletons that they're sitting on the step. One of them, closest to the railing there, is holding a guinea pig. Okay. The other guy with the red tie, he's holding a polar bear baby. They're not talking to each other, as you can see. They got their backs turned to each other, and there was a big squabble. the need to be right starts the fight, right? And now, as it turns out, they're not talking at all. So what I've deduced from the situation is that they were talking, it got heated, now they're not talking, and it looks like the polar bear and the guinea pig are not even playing, or I guess they're affected. So what I thought I should probably do is maybe bring them down here, see if we can sort out what happened with these guys, if you're okay with it. Oh, don't hide now. Just come on down and have a chat about it. All my skeletons always have fishing line on them too because they get hung up. If you ever wonder, like, a couple of these guys. Oh, these couple of these guys were in the green video. Do you remember them dancing in the carnival tent? That was those guys. So this is one of the dudes. And the other guy. Can I take your polar bear baby for a minute? Oh, you don't want to talk to him. Okay. I got tense there for a second. So I want to figure out what happened with these two. No, they're definitely not speaking. Do you guys want to let me know what's going on? Nope. All right. Do you want to maybe just tell me about it? Oh, okay. So, okay, I understand. Okay. Oh, you want to tell your side of the story? Okay, but just one at a time. Hold on, just one at a time. Just yeah, okay. I think I understand what happened here. Okay, all right, I understand. Still not talking. So it turns out he has a guinea pig, and he has a polar bear baby, and they started to talk about the facts, and apparently they were talking about, where guinea pigs come from, where polar bears come from. It started to turn into climate change conversation. It started to turn into whose pet was better. This guy said that this guy was going to grow really big, and he was saying they don't grow that big. They get to only be 200 pounds, not 400 pounds. It became a big problem. But what's happened now is they're not speaking, and these guys are not even friends anymore. And that's a real problem. Oh, look at he misses them. Oh, look at this. This is just like children and pets. They let go of everything long before adults do. Oh, he's all bitter now. He's not going to let him even. Did you see that? He doesn't even want his babies to be friends with him anymore. Nope, still not speaking. Okay, guys, here's the thing. Your pets, as it turns out, want to be friends, and I don't think they like the idea that you guys are not speaking at all. I think what we probably should do is let them go play, and we'll sort this whole thing out. Let them go play. We'll sort this thing out. What's the problem? Okay. And your problem? I see. The problem is that this guy has been trying to get this guy to watch movies with him all week, and he's been watching movies by himself. Seriously, that's all that it was. Oh, I see. Yep. So that's the problem. That's all it was. That's all it was. Can you guys look at each other for a minute? We got to sort this out. Do you really care how big a polar bear baby's going to get? No, you don't. Do you really care where a guinea pig comes from? What do you care about? Oh, you want to watch a movie with them? Oh. That's all it was. They miss each other, so they're trying to get each other's attention. Can you hug it out? That's nice. That's really nice. Do you guys want to watch a movie together? Look, our friends again. It's all happy. That's all it was. How stupid was that? Hug it out. It's such a stupid example, but I've heard worse. Just this past week, I've heard worse. The whole point is that we miss each other and we're just trying to get each other's attention. And so we'll talk about stupid things and stupid facts just to get each other's attention again. Are you guys ready to go back on the playground again? Yeah. Look at them. They're old selves again. Just like they were in the green video. Do you remember that? They were in that tent. They're just dancers. They're all good. Glad they're friends again. Isn't it awful? But I just want you to see the awkwardness of watching two people. Oh, they're hugging it out again. I wanted you to see the awkwardness when two people are just simply not at their best selves, right? And that's what I think what I'm trying to illustrate to you with two skeleton puppets. Oh, Rodney says you should watch Nightmare Before Christmas together. Oh, that was a really good idea, Rodney. Yeah, they're really pumped about it. I think they got it. Oh, they want to get off the bus so they can go watch that movie. Yeah, they love that movie. Big Jack Skellington fans, I see. Yeah. Okay, so what you got to do, though, is before you leave, you got to do a walkthrough. Can you do a walkthrough? They know they've watched it this whole time, right? They watched this whole time. Okay, so this is the same thing as usual. The skinny hug. Was that shimmy hug or skinny hug? I think it's the skinny hug, actually. Hi, Rachel. How are you? Oh, I'm too demented. So here's the thing. When you're going to do a walkthrough, you're going to do a walk off. And you're going to walk off the bus back onto the playground again because you guys have actually got to that place. So what I want you to do is stand on this side of the camera. Well, they're really excited to get off this. They want to go see that movie that Rodney recommended to them. They're going to watch The Night of the Living Humans. Oh, yeah. They're going to do a marathon night. Okay, so you're going to walk off the bus and onto the playground again because you've gotten past your petty conversation. I'm really proud of you, so you can get off the bus. You're going to walk through. When you get to about the halfway point, just wave at everybody or do something nice. And then walk off the bus onto the playground, okay? You ready for that? Okay, whenever you're ready. Toss them off. Way you go. Oh, I should probably check in and see how the guinea pig and the polar bear baby are doing. Oh, they're gonna hug it out too. No joke, guys, that when you fight, it affects your children. It affects your pets because they can feel that negative vibe around you. They feel it. And it's really awkward to watch. It's really awful to watch. So, yeah, that's the topic I wanted to talk about specifically tonight was the need to be right starts the fight. And just give some thought to that Eleanor Roosevelt quote when she said that great minds discuss ideas. Let's get back to talking ideas again. Let's get back to talking about things that inspire us again. Let's get back to having fun again. Let's get back to music again. Let's get back to laughing again. And instead of watching the news, crank some music. Instead of watching the news, read a book. Instead of watching the news, paint something. Get out with your dog. Your children and your animals are waiting for you every single day, and they want to have an amazing life with you. They're waiting for it. So get back out there with them. So happy to be back on the Starebone Bus with you guys. Write poetry or write whatever makes you happy to get back to the playground again. That's awesome, Jackie. I'm glad that you said that. Yes, much love on you too, Rodney. Love you guys so much, and I will see you tomorrow night on the Starebone Bus, okay? Have a great night. Rock on.